Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 5128 Longest Drive here in Newburgh, located at the back of the house. We are just off the rear left corner of the home. That's as you face the front of the house from the street, and it's the clean out furthest from the home. Dropping into a 4-inch ABS access point. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's running, and we're going to zero out. Off we go. All right, here's the main lateral at 61 feet. We did swap over to 4-inch 3034 a moment ago. And we've also gone through an area here of some standing water, although all said and done, I think it's going to drain out quite minimal. I've got a bathtub running full bore right now, and I'll bet what we're left over with is probably a 1/4 inch or so of standing water, so we'll see how that looks here in just a moment. Oops, sorry, I'm sitting here talking to myself with the mic turned off. Anyway, we're going to pull back a little bit and do the locates. It's kind of an awkward spot to get to as the line goes to the fence line. It looks like it's going out to the side street. So I'm going to pull back here to the beginning of the 3034 PVC. So the standing water here, it goes up to essentially the main lateral connection at about 61 feet. And thus far, we're sitting around a 1/16 of an inch of standing water. We do have some grease buildup in the line there. It's relatively minor. My camera knocked a lot of there was some gunk sitting there originally. Really not, that's an extremely minor belly. And about the only thing you're gonna ever get to hang up in a spot like this, as you can see in the flow line here, it's grease, cooking oil. So I'll recommend some cleaning on the line to remove that. It's not at nightmare levels though, just be aware of that. The kind of grease buildup you have there is the kind that will help exacerbate things that are already kind of getting close to blocking. If the grandkids are balling up a lot of toilet paper, you know, it would mostly be in those scenarios where I would ever foresee this kind of standing water ever causing an issue. You can barely even see the standing water once you get back to this point. So it runs from approximately around 47 to 61 feet. You might have a 1/4 inch of water at its worst point, and I mean maybe. I don't even think it's that much. That water line didn't even appear to get close to the base of my camera lens, which sits about a 1/4 inch off the bottom of the pipe. On top of that, at that distance, I'll see if I can locate this here. This is likely already in city territory anyway. I just noticed there was a gate in the backyard here, so I was able to go out there. Where we're sitting at right now is smack dab at the street curb. So this belly is light years away from being repair worthy to begin with. I wouldn't even bother sending it to the city. They will not even mess with it. Anyway, either way, that's in city responsibility. City of Newburgh takes responsibility at the right-of-way, so even further back than the curb. And again, the only thing you're ever going to see consistently hanging up in a belly that minor is if you are putting improper stuff down the line. Cooking oil, grease, fats in general are the most likely thing. That grease will build up anywhere in the line. You can see how clean this pipe is in general. That belly there probably caught nearly every drop of grease that's been down the line, which for the average home, this is actually a very clean sewer. So I'm going to recommend cleaning there just to spiff up that area of the belly so it doesn't contribute to anything that may go down the line, even if it's improper. You just don't want that potentially hanging up something like a wipe or a bunch of balls of toilet paper, stuff like that. But under normal, even semi-abusive scenarios, a belly like that is going to have essentially no bearing on functionality at all. It's that minor. I've done over 25,000 sewer scopes in my 15 years of doing this and a lot of drain cleaning. And I don't even consider repairs on bellies in 4-inch plastic pipe in general until there's at least an inch of standing water that's static with no water running at all for a minimum of 5 feet. And the only time I recommend a repair on a belly like that is when it's the first 5 feet of the line right out of the gate or underneath the home. And even in that scenario, it still is hugely up to the homeowner as to whether or not it ever manifests itself. So, not something I'm concerned about in the least. So we just went backwards here. We're now through the foundation wall, line next down to 3-inch pipe there into PVC. Everything from that point on is all exposed plumbing in the crawl space. That's stuff the home inspector looks at. All right, we're gonna go reel the camera out of the line. Good flow all the way to the main. All the piping to scope there is in good condition, intact. The belly is way too minor to need repairs in my opinion, whether it's in city or homeowner responsibility. Even if that belly were right up against the home, it's not one I'd recommend a fix on. It's that small. I would just recommend some cleaning on it. If you get it cleaned, I'd recommend a rescope just to show it was done and done properly. And then as a general route, so again, this is the back of the home here, the rear left corner. The line exits out of the home just to the side of the hose bib, right about here, comes out, makes a turn, and then basically shoots straight out to the road. Out to, it's the Greens Way or Greens Drive, something like that. Anyhow, nice looking sewer line. And as the line currently sits, it is a functioning sewer line. The buildup that's in there is not at a level where it's going to go causing blockages on its own, but it's a good maintenance item. Once you get grease buildup in a line, it stays put. There's nothing you can do about it without a machine going through there. It's just to prevent it from contributing to any further buildup, or like I was saying earlier, hanging up something that, you know, one of the kids puts down the line or something of that nature.